So welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we're now our post first anniversary of this channel. So I am back uploading my videos about conic sections. So our topic for today is the equations of the parabola. Okay. So before everything else, let me recall what are the parts of the parabola. They are vertex, focus, directrix, and lattice rectum. Okay, so here is the formula for the vertical parabola, or shall I say the standard form? Well, this is for the horizontal. So here are the formulas for the focus, then the directrix, and then the lattice rectum. Okay, so we're going to revisit the graphs. Okay, so when we say the vertical parabola, it either opens upwards or downwards. When we say horizontal, it opens sidewards. Okay, so this is where we're in the parabola is positive, while the parabola here is negative, while here the parabola here is positive, and while here is the negative. Okay, so now we're going to convert into general form to standard form. Okay, so here is the standard form. So what are we going to do here is we're going to expand this. X plus 4 squared will be x plus 4 times x plus 4. Then we're going to multiply this by distributive method. So it will become 12y minus 36. So what are we going to do is we're going to do the perfect square trinomial. So it will be x squared. Then here, it will become plus 8x. Then it will be plus 16. So keep in mind that 8x is equal to 4x plus 4x. Okay, so I just did it in a shortcut way na yung x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to x plus 4 times x plus 4. Okay, so we're going to copy it on the right side. So what are we going to do here is we're going to transpose everything to the left para maging 0 po si right. Okay. So what will happen is we're going to combine like terms. So this is now the general form of the parabola given its standard form na nakasulat sa question na to. Okay, so next, we're going to the next slide. Baliktaran naman to. Okay, so tong equation natin na meron natin ay general form. So now we're going to convert it into the standard form. So now, what are we going to do is we're going to complete the square. So it will become y minus, okay, so 12 divided by 2, then squared, then it will be minus 4x. Then what are we going to do is, okay, so before everything else, we're going to simplify. So it will become y minus 6 squared. So, bale, i-minus na natin to sa 36. Tapos, minus 4x. Then, plus 60. Okay. So now, we're going to copy this. Then, we're going to combine like terms, which is negative 36 plus 60. So it will become positive 24 equals 0. Then what are we going to do here is we're going to transpose this to the right side. So this terms pala. So magiging 4x minus 24. Then all we have to do is to find the greatest common factor. So ano yung common factor ng 4x at 24? Siyempre 4. Then what are we going to do is we're going to retain, or shall I say, we're going to write the leftover. So 4x divided by 4 will be x. Then minus 24 divided by 4, it will be 6. So this is the standard form of this parabola based on this given general form. Okay, now we're going to determine the equation based on the given parts. Okay, so what are we going to do here is, now meron po tayong focus at saka vertex. So given na po ang vertex natin, so sulatin ko po, vertex is equal to h and k, kung saan ang h natin is 4, then our k is 12. Okay, so since we have the same x in focus and vertex, okay, so our focus is equal to 4 and 9. So we can safely tell that RH is 4. Then, okay, so we're going to illustrate the focus and the vertex. Okay, so I'm going to create my own Cartesian plane, or okay, kung saan ito po yung 4, yung x natin, tapos ito yung 9, tapos ito yung 12. So, dito po ang vertex natin, tapos ito po yung focus natin. So, it means to say that if our vertex is higher than the focus, it means to say that the parabola opens downward. So, ganito po yung hawig ng isang parabola. So, what are we going to do is we're going to recall the focus formula. Okay, so what are we going to do here is, okay, so our k plus p is equal to 9. Then we're going to substitute here. So 12 plus p equals 9. Then we're going to solve for p by subtracting both sides by 12. Okay, so RP is equal to negative 3. So now we have RP, which is the distance between the focus and the vertex. Okay, so since this parabola is still a vertical parabola because the value of the x from the focus and the vertex are still the same. So keep in mind that if the value of x in the focus and the value of x in the vertex are the same, it means to say that the parabola is vertical. Okay, so we're going to write the formula. So recalling the formula, so it will become x minus h squared equals 4p, then y minus k. Okay, so now we're going to substitute given the h, p, and k. So it will become x minus 4 squared equals 4 times negative 3, then y minus 12. Okay, so now we're going to simplify. Okay, so 4 times negative 3 will become negative 12. Then y minus 12 is inside the parentheses. So here is the equation of the parabola given its focus and vertex. Okay, so next, what are we going to do here is we're going to, okay, so same lang ang value of x ng focus at vertex natin. So we can identify that it is a vertical parabola. Okay, so now we're going to illustrate or imagine. Okay, so this is my strategy. So para hindi ako mahirapan mag-determine kung vertical siya or horizontal. Okay, so since our vertex is lower than the focus, we can tell that the parabola opens upward. Okay, so our vertex if h and k is equal to 4 and 7. So we can say that our h is 4, then our k is 7. Okay, so what are we going to do here is we are going to state the formula of the focus, which is h and k plus p, then equate it with 4 and 15. So what are we going to do is to find the p. So k plus p is equal to 15. So our k is 7. That's why we replaced k with 7. Then what are we going to do here is to solve for p by subtracting both sides by 7. So RP is equal to 8. So it means to say that 8 is the distance between the focus and the vertex. So 8 units away sila. Okay. So recalling the formula of the vertical parabola. Okay. So what are we going to do here is we are going to write y minus, okay, so for p, y minus k is equal to x minus h squared. So, or x minus h squared is equal to 4p times y minus k. So we're going to substitute it. So it will become x minus 4 squared equals 4 times 8, then y minus 7. Okay, so now we're going to simplify po. Okay, so 4 times 8 will become 32, then y minus 7. So this is the equation of this given parabola based on the focus and the vertex. Okay, so laging tatandaan, if the value of x is the same sa focus and vertex natin, ibig sabihin, vertical parabola siya. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next item. Okay, so here, since same lang yung values of y natin, okay, so before we conclude, let's draw first. Okay, since parehong mega ito, so maglalagay po ako sa mas left. Okay, so what are we going to do here is, yung focus natin is negative 7, yung x natin pala muna, tapos negative 3 ang vertex natin. So, since our focus is here, tapos yung vertex natin is sa right. So, we can say that it is a horizontal parabola. Nag-open siya sidewards. Okay, so our vertex is h and k. Then we're going to equate it with negative 3 and 3. So what are we going to do is to state the h and k. So our h is negative 3, then our k is equal to 3. Okay, so our focus is equal to h plus p, then k, then it is equal to negative 7 and 3. So what are we going to do is we're going to equate h plus p is equal to negative 7. Then our h is negative 3 plus p is equal to 7. So what are we going to do is we're going to eliminate both sides. Or shall I say we're going to solve for p by adding both sides by 3. So mag-isa si p. To solve for p, okay, so ang mangyayari, negative 7 plus 3, it will become negative 4. So since our p is negative 4, ibig sabihin po, negative po ang ating parabola. Okay, so 4 units siya. Okay, so what are we going to do is we're going to recall the horizontal. So it will become y minus k squared is equal to 4p times x minus h. So what are we going to do here is we're going to substitute na po. Okay, so 4 times negative 4, then x minus negative 3. Then now we're going to simplify. So 4 times negative 4 will become negative 16. Then negative times negative will be plus. Okay, so here is the equation of the parabola given its focus and vertex. Okay, so why is it horizontal? Because the value of y in focus and the value of y in the vertex are the same. So it's horizontal. Okay, we're going to move to the next item or next question. Okay, so our k is negative 2. Okay, so the value of y in the focus and vertex are identical. Okay, so mag-drawing ulit. Okay, so y, then x, then our x is negative 3, then our another x is 3, then our y is negative 2. Okay, so ito yung focus natin, tapos ito yung vertex natin. So we can say that it's still a horizontal parabola. Then RH from the vertex is negative 3. So H and K is equal to negative 3 and negative 2. Then our focus po is H plus P, then K is equal to 3 and negative 2. Then what are we going to do is we're going to equate H plus P is equal to 3, then RH is negative 3. Then we're going to solve the P by adding both sides by 3. Okay, so it will become P. Oops, I made a mistake. So 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So RP is 6. So ibig sabihin positive ang ating parabola. So we're going to recall the horizontal. So then it will be y minus k squared is equal to 4e times x minus h. Okay, so now we're going to substitute the using h, p, and k. So our k is equal to negative 2 squared. Okay, then our p is 6. Then our h is equal to 3. Okay, so now we're going to simplify. So negative times negative, it will become plus. That's why y plus 2 squared. Then 4 times 6, it will become 24. Then our x, oops, nakalimutan ko po pala. So our h pala is negative 3. So I replace h with negative 3. So negative times negative, it will become plus, then 3. So ito po yung formula or shall I say equation ng parabola given ng focus and vertex natin. Okay, so now we're going to proceed to the equation wherein the vertex and the directrix are given. Okay, so pag sinabing directrix kasi, ito yung line. It's either nasa baba or nasa taas ng vertex. Okay, so we're going to draw a line again, a partition plane. So this is negative 1. So our y is equal to negative 1. So ito po yung y equals negative 1. Tapos ang vertex natin is x, then 4 yung y. So ito po yung vertex natin. So ito po yung itsura. So we can tell that this is a vertical parabola. So pag ganito ang questions natin are given, kapag yung directrix natin ay horizontal, ibig sabihin vertical ang parabola natin. Okay, so our vertex is equal to h and k. Then we're going to correspond it to 3 and 4. So our h is equal to 3, then our k is equal to 4. Okay, so given na yung h and k natin, so our directrix is equal to y equals k minus p. Okay, so given na yung directrix natin, yung y natin is negative 1, substitute na natin, then yung k natin is 4, then minus p. Hindi natin kasi alam ano si p. So what are we going to do is, we're going to find the value of p by subtracting both sides by 4. So 4 minus p minus 4. So makakancel siya. So 1 minus 4 will become negative 5 equals negative p. So dividing both sides by negative sign, so yung p natin is equal to 5. So we can say that the parabola opens upward. Okay. So, i-recall ko pa rin ang vertical parabola. So it will become x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. So ang gagawin natin is, we are going to substitute h with 3, then p with 5, then k with 4. Okay. So, we're going to simplify it po. So, ito po yung answer natin. So, ito po yung equation natin ng parabola given ng directrix and vertex natin. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next question. Okay, so given ang directrix natin, so what are we going to do here is, we are going to, then again, so yan directrix natin is, okay, yung y is 5. Then our vertex is 3 and 4. So dito yung 3, tapos ito yung 4 natin. So ibig sabihin, nag-open na downward ang parabola natin. Kapag horizontal ang directrix natin, again, it is a vertical parabola. So what are we going to do here is, vertex, then h and k equals 3 and 4. Then what are we going to do is, we are going to state the directrix y equals k minus p. So now we're going to substitute. So yung y natin is 5, then yung p, then what are we going to do is, our k is 4, then minus p. Then we're going to solve the p for p by subtracting both sides by 4. So canceling, so it will become 1 equals negative p, then rp is equal to negative 1. So using the formula of the vertical parabola, okay, so we're going to recall first. So it will become x minus h squared equals 4p, then y minus k. So substituting po, it will become x minus 4 squared equals 4 times negative 1, then y minus 5, then since x minus 4 squared equals 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, then y minus 5. So ito po yung equation natin given ng parabola natin. Okay, so now we are going to add more questions about this. Okay, so now, okay, so if our directrix is x is equal to 3 and our vertex is equal to, shall I say, 1 and 5. Okay, so now we are going to illustrate again sa Cartesian plane. So yung x natin is 3. Okay, so dito siya. Tapos yung y natin is 5. Tapos yung x natin is 1. So, ibig sabihin po, sidewards na siya. So, ibig sabihin horizontal. Kapag vertical ang directrix natin, ibig sabihin horizontal na ang parabola natin. Okay, so our vertex is h and k is equal to 1 and 5. So, our h is equal to 1, then our k is equal to 5. Okay, so what are we going to do here? So, ito pala. Okay, so what are we going to do here is, okay, so keep in mind our directrix is x is equal to 3 and our vertex is equal to 1 and 5. Okay, so our vertex is equal to h and k, which is 1 and 5. So our h is 1, then our k is 5. Then yung directrix natin is x is equal to h minus p. So given na yung x natin, so 3 equals 1 minus p. Okay, so nag-substitute po ako to solve for p. So subtracting both sides by 1 to get the p. Okay, so it will become 3 minus 1, it will become 2. Then it will become negative p. Then solving for p, it will become negative 2. So using the formula of the parabola na horizontal, so x minus h, then 4p equals y minus k squared, or y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. So substituting, your k will be 5, then your p will be negative 2, then your h will become 1. Okay, so simplifying, so 4 times negative 2, it will become negative 8, then x minus 1. So ito na po ang formula natin sa horizontal parabola given ang directrix and vertex natin. Okay, so another example po. Okay, so huwag ko naburahin tong height ng horizontal. Okay, huwag ko na burahin yung mga formulas. Okay, so what are we going to do here is, if our directrix is negative 2 and our vertex is, shall I say, 1 and 4. Okay, so can I draw here? So keep in mind that the x is negative 2. So ibig sabihin, vertical ang directrix natin. Then our vertex is 1, then 4. So ito po yung vertex natin. So ibig sabihin po, horizontal ang parabola natin, positive ang parabola natin. So what are we going to do here is, we are going to correspond. So our h is equal to 1, then our k is equal to 4. So we're going to substitute given the value of x sa directrix. Okay, so our target is to look for p. Okay, so what are we going to do is, we're going to subtract both sides by 1. So what are we going to do here is, we are going to simplify. So negative 3 equals negative p. So dividing both sides by negative sign, so our p is equal to 3. Then given the values of h, k, and p, so we're going to substitute. So what are we going to do here is, we're going to simplify. So tada! So this is the formula or the equation of the horizontal parabola given its directrix and vertex. So keep in mind that if the directrix is vertical, then the parabola is horizontal. If the directrix is horizontal, then the parabola is vertical. Okay, so do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos. Happy watching, happy learning, and God bless you. Have a great day. Stay safe. Hmm.